So go ahead and get DLI out, week 8, day 1. Yeah. Okay, once you get that out, we are going to talk today. Look up here quietly.
Only been in school for 8 weeks.
Only been in school for 8 weeks. Yep. Maybe there's been like 9 or 10. I don't know exactly. Well, then you get a new one for the next semester. Hold on. Yep. No, go ahead. So Gentry asked a good question. There's a page that, guys, there's a page that says following week 7. Don't go to that page. Just go to page, this one. This one, week 8, day 1. We'll go here. You guys can sit, look at that. I'm going to go back to my page. So this week we're talking about commas, apostrophes, mid-sentence dates, and place names. So we're doing a lot this week. So, objective is we will use commas appropriately within a sentence, including mid-sentence dates and addresses. We will define and identify an apostrophe and punctuate if it correctly with commas. So basically we're doing a lot with commas in our sentences. So, the page before week 8, day 1, there is this sheet here that has a little bit of everything that shows an example of every time you need a comma in a sentence. If you would like to flip your page over, and go to this, you can star it. So it's one page over backwards, or one backwards, and it has like a chart that looks like this. You guys can star this for our quiz on Friday. This is all we'll be learning this week, but this is just put into one page. If you want, that can help you for our quiz on Friday. And when you're complete with that, we will go back to where you just were. So, we will start with this week 8, day 1. I'm going to zoom in. So it has a little comma review. So this is a little less stressful of a chart than what we just looked at. But for uses for commas, so this is going to be important. So I would put a star here too if I were you. So this will be very important for your quiz on Friday. So the reasons and places that we will use commas are between the day and year. So this date is March 3rd, 2012. Are you guys good with that one? Have you done that before? For today, you write November 2nd, comma, 2020? Yeah. The second one is between a city and state. So in this example, we have Atlanta, comma, Georgia. In our case, we have Wamego, comma, Kansas. Or if you live in Manhattan, maybe Manhattan, comma, Kansas. Yes. The third one is in items in a series. So the soup needs onions, potatoes, beans, and carrots. So if you're kind of telling a recipe to someone, you would need all of those commas to separate all the things you need. Gentry.
So why do we have him ask who has seen my paper? Why do we have that? And we got that last week.
This is just a review. So down here, Gentry, so we've learned about this before, they just put every reason you could use a comma in one. So the next one is greetings and closings in a friendly letter. So if you wrote, Dear Aunt Julie, if your aunt was named Julie and you're writing her a letter, you would address the top, Dear Aunt Julie, comma, and then you would sign it, Your friend, Miss King. You need another comma. Jackson. Yes, Malia.
So, this is Aunt Julie?
Yeah. Julie, yes.
That they all capitalize her letters.
Yep, because this is the starter and Aunt Julie is her name. So it could be Dear Miss King, and I would need to capitalize my M and F K because that's my name. So then you'll need following sequence words. So in our writings that we're going to work on this week, if we use transition words like next, you need a comma after it, okay? So next, comma, add 2 cups of water to the broth. The next one one is indirect address. Indirect address. Sam, comma, please sharpen your pencil. Or hold on, comma, Vince. So these are like terms of like giving something and addressing someone. So like you would need like Miss King, comma, taught the class or something like that. Then you need like this one Gentry called out between the tag and the quotation. So we learned this last week, didn't we? That's called a quotation. That's what we talked about last week, Leah. And then yes, after yes, comma, no, and other introductory words. So if we start a sentence with yes, you'll need a comma. If you start with no, you need a comma. Okay, Jordan.
Whenever we're fixing it before the comma, do we still need to do the 3 underlines?
No, we'll talk about that. And then yes.
On the indirect address, wouldn't this kind of be like a quotation sentence?
Kind of like a quotation. It's almost like a command.
Cause it's like someone could be like telling them to do that. It's kind of like it would be a quotation.
Yeah, kind of like a command almost. So perfect. So down here, if there is an error in the underlined section, make the correction in the space above. Then write, if there's no error, write okay. So, looking what we have at top and looking what we know down here, we have Dear Monica. What do we need to do with Monica? Capitalize. So go ahead and put your 3 lines or just capital.
And comma.
And then what do we need to do afterwards? So we just learned about addressing someone.
Yes.
Yes, so you'll need to put a comma and just go ahead and circle it so I see that you added it in. You do not need to underline it, but please put a comma and circle that. So this is what our first one looks like. Dear Monica, it's a capital M and a comma. And then we'll come over here. We have the date, April 17th, 2012. What do we need to do to that, Xavier? Yes, we need a capital April, or capital A in April, and a comma after 17, like if we were writing the date. If this was today, you're writing this is how you would write it. Oh, yeah.
On April, it has 17. Like if it was like 2017,
No, so this is the year, so you put the comma before the year, okay? Okay. So next we have wow. Do you need to do anything to wow? It's capitalized with an exclamation mark. We good?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you can write okay. Have a little okay. Guess where we went last weekend? Yes, we flew to Orlando, Florida. What do we need to do to the yes, Grayson? Do what? Add a comma after it. This is kind of that indirect address and a thing. Like, yes, comma. We flew to Orlando, Florida. What needs to be done to Orlando, Florida?
I have a question.
Oh, question. What's your question?
Why couldn't we need a comma after wow?
Wow. You could have if you wanted to combine these two sentences. If you want to go, wow, guess where we went last weekend? I just didn't because this didn't have anything under it. That's an option too if you wanted to go comma and then lowercase that. That's fine too if you chose to do that. But then what do we need to do to Orlando, Florida, Jordan?
We need to put a comma right after Orlando.
Orlando. So that is a place in Florida. That's Disney World if you've known that place. So Orlando, comma, Florida.
That's where I'm going over fixing great.
Our condo complex was so cool. It was so cool with a swimming pool, kayak, hot tub, and gaming system. What do we need to do to all these things underline Allen?
After swimming pool is the comma, after kayak and hot tub. Also, that's where we went last week. And wouldn't that one be a question at the top?
Yes, they didn't underline that, but yeah. So I didn't think about that. So since it's a question, it would be a question mark, but they didn't underline, so I didn't think of that. Good job. But down here we have swimming pool, comma, kayak, comma, hot tub, comma, and the gaming system. This is a series like it talked about at the top with our soup example. So here you need a comma because you need a break in all of these different objects. Yes.
They didn't underline
I know, so that's why I didn't see about putting in that quotation mark, or not quotation, question mark, but it worked out. So Dad said, you won't want to come home after this trip, Shelly. What needs to go after said, Jackson?
Comma.
Comma, because this is what we learned last week.
Yeah.
You put a comma after before you have your quotations.
Yeah, and then trip Shelly is fine, I think.
Trip, do you think we should,
Yeah, comma.
a comma, because they're kind of addressing her? You don't want to come home after this trip, Shelly. You can almost think of it as like a pause in your sentence. You kind of have to take a little pause, like Dad said, pause. You won't want to come home. Think of it like that if that helps. Monica, please come over to our house on Friday. I brought you a cute little souvenir. What do we need to do after Monica, please? Jordan?
We need a pen. You come right after Monica.
Perfect. Right after Monica, because it's going to...
Monica, pause. Please come over to our house.
House on Friday. What do we need to do with Friday, Allie?
It needs a punctuation. I put an exclamation mark.
Yeah, you want to put an exclamation mark? You have to put some sort of thing, just not a question, because it's not a question, but Monica, please come over to our house on Friday. Either period or exclamation mark. And then you can put, I brought you a cute little souvenir. Yikes. I need to go now and start on my homework. What do I need to do with the yikes one?
We need to put a comma after it.
Yikes, comma. Perfect. And then we have our ending, your friend Shelly. What do we need to do with your friend, Gentry?
After we need to put a comma.
Friend, that's the ending we talked about at the beginning that I told you if I was addressing the letter. That way you show that you addressed it. You guys get all those? Yeah? Go ahead and star the top of your page. And on your quiz on Friday, this little thing right here will be very important. So make sure you have a star by that box because it kind of breaks down all of it. You need the bottom, Kayla?
No, I need the comma.
Stop. This part?
Yep.
Okay. I will leave this up there if you need this left up. And the next thing, go ahead and grab out your scissors for me so we can move on to our spelling. Scissors, please.